Welcome back to Learn with Chris. I'm Chris. This is the first video I'm going to make of a political nature. So I made a rather long post on Facebook and my wife said it's too long to read, so I should just make a video about it. So, okay, I will make a video about it. So I'm going to read through the post I wrote on Facebook and I'm going to talk about it. It's mostly related to the current situation, political situation in the United States, about Donald Trump, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and how I believe things have changed quite a lot in how people view him. And let's just go through it. So I'm going to read it paragraph by paragraph, and I'm going to stop and talk and maybe try to discuss as I go. So it starts like this. Thought experiment. Imagine you know of an individual in society who is extremely reviled and evil, to the point that he is considered to be the modern day equivalent of the accepted evilest person in human history, who started the most destructive war in our history and even tried to genocide an entire race of people. Today, words and concepts associated with that historical person, such as fascism, Holocaust, Nazi, and Hitler, are correctly, universally hated by all except the most fringe of society, whom are also universally reviled because of their abhorrent beliefs. Our modern day individual is associated with these concepts, hence he is the evilest person alive and an existential threat to his country and also to the entire world, as his country is the strongest country in the world. So I'm talking about Donald Trump, of course, and he is an individual in society who is reviled and considered evil by a lot of people, considering him to be a modern day equivalent of the most evil person in human history, Hitler, Adolf Hitler, who started, of course, the most destructive war in our history, World War II, and tried to genocide an entire race of people, the Jews. And words today, fascism, Holocaust, Nazi, and Hitler, these are all very bad words. These are very evil words. And nobody wants to be associated with them. Like, you do not want to be a Nazi, or you don't want to be considered a fascist person, or liking or having anything to do with Hitler or what Hitler represents. Over the last 75, 80 years, I would say that Hitler is pretty easily considered to be the most evil person in human history. And Donald Trump has been called and considered and equated to Hitler for pretty much 8 years since he wanted to become president in 2016. He's called a fascist, he's called a threat to democracy and a threat to society. As Hitler started World War II, they say that Trump will start World War III. So they're equating him as Trump as the same type of person as Hitler was. So the next paragraph. And then said individual gets shot in the ear as an assassin's bullet narrowly, by a centimeter or two, missed killing him with a headshot during a Nazi-styled rally. Of course, the entire world bemoaned the fact that the assassin's bullet missed the mark, as the only correct course of action in the face of an existential threat to the world is to destroy that threat. Indeed, all would agree that if Hitler had been assassinated in the early or mid-1930s, tens of millions of lives would have been saved. So it is entirely justified, indeed morally correct, or even morally necessary, to save millions by killing the current hitlerian figure. So that was my second paragraph in my Facebook post. So last Saturday, a week ago today, Trump was almost killed. And everybody knows this. This is gigantic news. A bullet shot him past his right ear. And if Trump is Hitler, if Trump is the same as Hitler, then it's a good thing to shoot him. It's a good thing to kill him. Because Hitler caused World War II. He tried to kill all of the Jews. Tens of millions of people died because of the actions of Adolf Hitler before World War II and during World War II. So if Trump is the same kind of person as Hitler, and he's going to do the same kinds of things as Hitler, then you have to kill him. That's the only thing that makes sense. He's so dangerous and so bad that not only is it okay to shoot him and kill him, it's actually morally the right thing to do. It's like if you're a normal person and you want to save millions of people, kill Trump. That's what you have to do. That's the concept of this, right? So if Trump equals Hitler, killing him is what you need to do. So that's my second paragraph. Third paragraph. However, the oddest reaction to the attempted assassination occurred. Many of those people most vocal against the modern-day Hitler, namely the President and Vice President of the United States, and figures in the media, did not bemoan the fact that modern-day Hitler wasn't killed. Instead, they were happy he was alive and wished him a speedy recovery. So we have Trump is Hitler, very evil, very evil person. He's going to kill millions of people in the future. He's going to cause World War III. He should be killed. He's almost killed in an assassination attempt. And the people who are calling him Hitler, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, so the President of the United States, President of the United States, Vice President of the United States, and people in the media, the left media of the United States, they were happy he didn't die. They called him and wished him a speedy recovery. It's like, what? If he's Hitler, you want him dead. Why are they calling him to say, I hope you feel better. I'm really happy you weren't killed. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. So it's my fourth paragraph. Hold the phone. Hitler just survived an assassination attempt, and his most vocal opponents call him and wish him well? But he's Hitler. His death is the only course of action. They should have been doing the opposite and calling in an airstrike on the hospital Hitler was in to end his threat forever. So in this paragraph, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, Hitler didn't die, and the people who are calling him Hitler are happy he's not dead and are calling him to wish him well. This does not add up. This does not make sense. They should be wanting him dead. They should be trying to kill him themselves. If he's Hitler, it's a moral good to kill him. They should be calling in the Air Force to drop bombs on the hospital that he is in. Because remember, Trump is Hitler, and he's an existential threat to the democracy of the United States and the future of the world. So 1 + 1 = 5? Doesn't make any sense. So, next paragraph in my post. Makes you wonder why they didn't do that. Here's a possible explanation. Modern-day Hitler is not Hitler. Never was, and they know it. So why brand him thusly? Well, that's pretty obvious. Who wants Hitler to be in politics and lead a country? No one, of course. Any self-respecting person would distance themselves from a Hitlerian political figure and never vote for him. In a two-party system, if you have choice A being Hitler and choice B being literally anyone else, then you vote for choice B. So the whole point of making Trump Hitler is to make him, well, someone that you would never vote for. So it's a political motivation. So again, if everyone thinks that this person called Trump is Hitler, then who in their right mind is going to vote for Hitler? No one. And America is a two-party system, Republican and Democrat. They have independents, but independents never win. They never really get anywhere. So again, two choices, Hitler or anyone else. People are going to vote for anyone else. So that's the thought process, right? Let's make Trump Hitler, therefore no one will vote for him, therefore they'll vote for us. Who are the people making him Hitler? Well, the Democratic Party on the left, of course, supported by the media, like CNN, NBC, etc. Okay, next paragraph. Thus has been the political narrative of the United States and other countries, to be honest, for the last 8 years. The Democratic Party and associated media has ceaselessly painted Trump as Hitler for political and financial reasons. They do not believe that narrative, as seen in recent days from their, well, some of them, reaction to the assassination attempt and wishing Trump well. However, an utter shitload of people do believe in that narrative, also shown by their reactions of bemoaning the fact that the assassination failed, wishing that the next attempt succeeds, see Kyle Gass's birthday wish, or being gleeful about a fireman dying in the assassination attempt as he shielded his family with his own body, see Destiny. So I'm going to explain this. So for 8 years, Trump has been called Hitler, called a fascist, called an existential threat to democracy, so forth and so on and so forth. For political reasons, because the left who are calling him that, they want to be the ones to win the elections. They want to be the ones to always be in power. So they're going to call the other side an evil person, right? But they don't believe it. Here's the big problem, and here's the whole point of me making my Facebook post, is that they do not believe what they are saying, because if they really believed that he was Hitler and he was an existential threat to the country, they would want him dead. They would celebrate if he was killed or nearly killed. They would not be wishing him well. They would not be, unhappy that he, they would be happy if he was killed, but they're not. But while the people saying all of this in the media and the president, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, for example, they don't believe what they're saying, but the people who follow them do believe it. There's a lot of people who think that Trump is Hitler, who think that Trump is the worst person in the world. To the fact that being considered a Trump supporter, by the way, I'm not American. I can't vote for Trump, so I'm not a Trump supporter, because I can't be, because I'm not even an American. I can't vote for him anyway. I'm just an outsider looking in and looking at the politics, because American politics affects the whole world, right? Who is the president of the United States does affect my country, does affect your country. It affects all countries, because the United States is the United States. It's a superpower, right? What they do matters, and the policies they make and the things they do will affect other countries. That's why everybody pays attention to American politics. We don't pay attention to like the election in Germany or Bolivia or Japan or any other country. Nobody cares about the politics in other countries unless you're from that country. Obviously, Japanese people care about Japanese politics, but outside of Japan, nobody cares. But everyone cares about American politics because it affects the entire world, right? So, a lot of people do believe in the narrative that Trump is Hitler, or orange man bad, Orange Hitler, all of that kind of stuff. And there were several, all types of people on social media unhappy that the assassin did not kill Trump. They were unhappy that he missed. Two examples I gave was Kyle Gass's birthday wish. So Kyle Gass and Jack Black, a band called Tenacious D, they were in a concert in Australia, and it's Kyle Gass's birthday, and, what's your birthday wish? And he said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something to the effect of, don't miss next time. Like, the next assassin to shoot Trump, do not miss. Hit next time. That was his birthday wish. Okay. So he believes that Trump is a super evil person and needs to die. So he believes the narrative. And then the other example, fireman dying in an assassination attempt. So one person died in the attempt. He was a fireman. When the bullets started flying, he jumped on his wife and his daughters to protect them, and he got shot. That's what a hero would do. And a YouTuber, Twitch, I think, liberal guy called Destiny, he was laughing about this, happy about this. So the idea here is that Trump is so bad and so evil that anyone who supports Trump, anyone who goes to his rallies, is also an evil person who should die. That's utter craziness. But, let me continue. So the next paragraph I wrote, at least they're not liars, I guess. They are true believers. But we really need to think about the fact that the ones proclaiming the lie and narrative do not believe it themselves, but people who listen to them do. If you believe a lie, does it become true? Well, no, it doesn't, of course, but it may seem real in the mind of the believer. And it is oh so hard to admit that we were wrong about something or that we accepted a lie as truth. I mean, doesn't that make us stupid? Or it makes us very angry. Angry that we were lied to. This is how I felt for years after I deconverted from Christianity. I felt that I was lied to for my whole life, and I was stupid for believing it. That made me angry. So all of these people who believe that Trump is evil, they're believing in a lie. They're believing in a political lie that's created to, again, for political reasons, to make sure that nobody votes for Trump. In their head, it's real, right? And if you believe this lie for 8 years, and a lot of people do, it's really hard to change your mind because you have to accept the fact that you believe something incorrectly for 8 years. It's like, oh my God, how stupid was I to believe this, right? So a lot of people, they will continue to believe the lie because they don't want to admit that they were wrong about something, right? It takes a lot of courage to look at yourself and to look at your own mistakes that you make, right? So the example I gave was I was a Christian for a long time, and then I'm not now, and I was angry when I lost faith. I deconverted because I felt that I was lied to for my whole life about God and about Christianity. That made me angry. It made me angry that other people lied to me, and it made me angry about myself because I believed in something that I should not have believed in, right? I was stupid for believing it. That made me angry. Not a Christian. Not that I have a problem with Christians anymore, but I certainly did when I recently deconverted because I was an angry person. We call it the angry atheist, right? And it's very common, actually. It's very common when people change their beliefs, especially very strong beliefs, religious beliefs or political beliefs, and they do some type of conversion. They go from one belief system to another belief system, or from a belief system to a non-belief system. They're angry at their previous feelings or their previous beliefs because they feel that they were stupid to believe it, right? They're angry at themselves mostly, right? And I had that experience now. But those feelings go away after time. I deconverted 15 years ago or something. So I'm perfectly okay with Christians today. I don't believe they're right, and I don't believe what they believe, but I don't have any problem with them, right? It's like they can believe what they believe. I believe what I believe. It's all good, right? No problem about that. Okay, so let me read the next paragraph I wrote. When Trump stood up about a minute after being shot and raised his fist in the air, and being photographed, which will become one of the most iconic images in history, that changed everything. A politician, is in it for political reasons. A politician who is in it for political reasons, i.e. power and money, would have stayed down and allowed himself to be whisked away by the Secret Service. Trump is not a politician. He's many things, a lot of them bad, like being a gigantic egomaniac and narcissist, but he is not a politician and certainly not Orange Hitler. There's only one possible understanding of his standing up in defiance when there could have been a second shooter around. He loves his country. He has all the fame and money a person could want, and he definitely doesn't want bullets flying towards him, but he puts himself out there. What other kind of person would risk his life for his country and for others? A soldier would, a police officer would, a firefighter would. In other words, a patriot would, a hero would. So Donald Trump gets shot in the air. He drops down on the ground, which is obviously not only the correct thing to do, but it's also what he's trained to do. Like the Secret Service protecting him would have trained him to drop to the ground because obviously you're going to be safe, right? So he gets shot in the air. He drops to the ground. The Secret Service jump on top of him. There's bullets flying around. Counter sniper from the Secret Service shot and killed the attempted assassin. And that went on. That only took a few seconds for all that to happen. And then I think it took about a minute, and then Trump stood up. And he raised his fist in the air, and there's blood coming down his face. And just absolutely amazing photograph was taken of him at that moment. He's got all the Secret Service around him. He's standing up with his fist. There's blood on his face. The American flag is up behind them. Iconic photograph. It'll go down in history. And I actually made a post about that on Facebook when I first saw it. That was my post. This image will go down in history. So anyone else, well, if anyone else is shot and doesn't die, they're going to be so scared, right? They're going to shit themselves. They're going to crawl away. They're going to be terrified. But to stand up again when you don't know if there's another assassin, right? So they shot the assassin that shot Trump, but there could be a second assassin, right? And he was visible. If there was a second assassin, boom, the second assassin would have hit him in the head because he wasn't covered correctly. The Secret Service didn't cover all of him, right? They weren't covering his face. So he would have been shot and killed. So it took amazing bravery to stand up in defiance, raise his fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. So at that moment, I've always believed Trump was an egotist, narcissist, maybe a sociopath, maybe even a psychopath. He's got some problems, right? He's not good in a lot of ways, right? He's got personality problems, right? But I never thought that he really, really loved the United States. I never thought that. I just thought that he was like a rich, spoiled person who wanted everything. You know, I'm rich, I got all these buildings, I got all these businesses, I'm very famous. What's the last thing that I want? I want to be president. I want to be the most powerful person in the world. So I just thought it was a rich kid wanting everything. That's why he became president. But after he got up, after being shot, I thought differently. It's like, no, he actually loves the United States and he wants the best for the country. So that was a change of thinking that I had about him, and I think a lot of other people too. Because that's when we use the word true colors, right? You show your true colors. When you're in a very, very dangerous situation, the real you will be shown, right? Will be revealed. Fight or flight reaction, right? Some people will run away, some people will fight back. And you don't know. You don't know how you're going to react to, extreme situations until you're in that situation. And to be honest, it's not even a conscious thing. You just react. It's an instinct. His instinct was to stand up and say fight and be defiant and risk getting shot again. Pretty crazy, but that's what he did. And let me read the next paragraph. Last Saturday, 2 outcomes were possible. Trump becomes a martyr, or Trump becomes a patriotic hero. The bullet missed, and Trump was essentially elected as the next president in that moment. I'm very curious about when Biden steps down, who will replace him in the Democrat Party as the presidential candidate, because no one wants to run against God Emperor Trump. So he gets shot at. If he dies, he's a martyr. And the world would be so different right now that if he was shot. It could have been like a civil war in the United States. It would have been chaos. It would have been very, very, very bad if he was killed. But he wasn't. He survived, and now he's a hero. And most people are saying, and I agree, he won the election at that moment. Not the moment when he was shot, but the moment when he stood up defiant. That's when he won the election. Even though the election's in November, they're going to vote in November, he's already won. And the Democrats know this, which is why I'm like, okay, Biden's stepping down. It's not official yet, but probably in the next couple of days, he's going to give up. He's going to quit. Probably will have Kamala Harris replacing him as president for the next few months. But we don't know who is going to be the Democrat candidate against Trump in November, because whoever it is, they're going to lose, because Trump is so popular right now. I'm using the word God Emperor Trump because it's kind of like they call him a dictator and they call him a fascist. So let's just go one step further and call him God Emperor Trump. By the way, God Emperor is from the God Emperor of Dune. Right here. I haven't read it yet, but I'll get to it. Continue reading. To the never Trumpers and sufferers of TDS, you've been lied to continuously for the last 8 years. But the lie is now broken open. It's okay to be angry. I would be too. So never Trumpers are people who would never vote for Trump. They would vote for anyone else, never Trump. And sufferers of TDS. TDS is Trump derangement syndrome. And it's not a real mental problem, but it certainly feels like it, right? People who have believed all of the lies about Trump and they hate him so much and they think he is Hitler. We call that TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. I'm saying that these people have been lied to for 8 years from the media. And now the lie is obvious because the media doesn't believe their own lie. And it's clear that they don't. So the lie is broken open. It's obvious that it was a lie. So you as the never Trumper or you as the sufferer of TDS, you should see that. And you're probably going to be really angry. And it's okay to be angry because I would be angry too if I was lied to for 8 continuous years. I was lied to 8 continuous years. everyone was, but I didn't believe it. It's different, right? So the thing about that was back in, what was it, like end of 2015? Yeah, when Trump wanted to be president, I didn't even know who he was. He was like some rich guy. He was some TV shows or something. I didn't even know, because I don't care about famous people. But all the news was telling us to hate this person. You know, this person who wants to be president is evil and bad. He's a racist. He's a sexist. He's a homophobe. He's blah, 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 blah. All of these things. And it's like, interesting. Why? Why is all of their energy going against this person? It seemed very curious to me that this super evil person wants to be president, but I never heard of him before. If he was super evil, I would have heard of him before. Because, again, some Hitler-like person would have been known, would have been famous, and everybody would have known, right? But suddenly, out of the blue, and like the day before he wanted to be president, all of the Democrats were fine with him. They didn't say anything about him. So it was like flipping a switch, right? Suddenly, overnight, after he declared he wanted to be president of the United States in 2015, now he's super evil. It just happened that fast. So I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it from the get-go. But again, with the media telling the lie, the narrative, over and over and over again, if you listen to something for 8 years every day, you're probably going to believe it. But you're not going to hear it anymore because the lie is obvious. But the question is, how long before you stop believing it? Don't know. We'll see. Continuing with my post. This post, if made, say, 4 years ago, would have lost me many friends on Facebook. I put friends in quotation marks. And maybe have gotten me banned from Facebook itself. But I got my doubts now. Perhaps we are in the last days of cancel culture, where having the wrong opinions is no longer a crime. So this post that I made, if I made it 4 years ago, half of the people on Facebook, my friends, because they're not friends, they would have blocked me, banned me, whatever. Or maybe I would have gotten banned from Facebook for saying positive things about Trump, or not saying negative things about Trump, right? Wrong think, having the wrong thought, saying the wrong things, having the wrong opinions would get you banned or get you canceled. That is insane, but that's where we've been for a very, very, very long time. Having the wrong thoughts. Think about that. Thoughts are in your head. They're your thoughts. How could they be wrong? They're your thoughts. They could be stupid, but not wrong. They're yours. And whatever thoughts go through your mind, it doesn't mean that you're going to go do anything about it. Wrong actions, illegal actions, killing someone or stealing or whatever, that's wrong. But actions and thoughts are not the same thing. They're not even close to being the same thing. We have so many ideas in our heads. It's fine. They're your ideas. But your ideas are wrong. I mean, this is not 1984 George Orwell, right? And the last thing I wrote, the last paragraph, the mind is a precious thing, perhaps the most precious thing. Use it freely and don't allow others, especially politicians and media, to poison it. And then I wrote a Latin phrase for think for yourself. Think for yourself. So let me recap all of this. So, political video. I've only talked so far about English grammar, phrasal verbs, TOEIC, and of course, Viking stuff, because that's a strong interest of mine. So this is my first political related video. Because Trump's assassination attempt, it changed something in me. I didn't like the guy before, but I did not like him either. He wasn't my president. I'm not American. I would just look at American politics from the outside because it's important. Again, American politics affects the whole world, right? But it wasn't until he was almost killed and he stood up like a badass that I said, I think this guy actually loves his country. I think he wants the best for the United States. And he's willing to die for that. And that's pretty damn powerful, right? Because the average politician in any country in the world doesn't give a shit about the country. They're just there for the power and there for the money. I am not positive about politicians. I'm very, very cynical about politicians. But that's why I said Trump's not a politician. If he was a politician, he would not have gotten up, right? He would have, scurried off to be safe, right? But he stood up and put himself in danger. He says to let the audience know that he was okay. Yeah, fair enough. But it was just an extremely brave, badass thing to do. And that earned my respect, and I think it earned the respect of a lot of people. So as I said, Trump is going to win in November. He will be the next president of the United States, assuming they don't shoot him again. And that's another question. They. I'm not going to get into it now, but maybe I'll make another video. But the whole circumstances of how the assassin was even allowed to be there and to climb that roof and to take those shots, everything is really, 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 let's say, suspicious. But that's getting into conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So that's another idea. Anyway, I think this is I don't know how long this video was, but I think it's very long. So thank you for listening and watching. And yeah, my first political related video. Thank you for your time. Oh, I wanted to mention something about my shirt here. So this is kind of related. So let me move the camera down here a little bit. So this shirt is Old Norse, and it says, I know one thing never dies. I know one thing that never dies. And then reputation of died one. That's a direct translation from no Old Norse. So I know one thing that never dies. The reputation of the one who has died. This is from Havamal, stanza 77. So it's from this poem here from the Havamal. I know one thing that never dies. The reputation of the one who has died. So reputation. Trump's reputation just went through the roof. It went stellar by standing up defiantly after being shot. And we respond to that type of stuff, right? So his reputation is gigantic in a very, very positive way, right? So yeah, just a tough person, right? A strong, tough person. We respond to that, we respect that, and we see that. And that's what a leader should have, right? Okay. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.